What is up, DNS Squad? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing relationships part 2, as you guys know, and today's 3 topics are spending habits, children, and each other's family. So let's get started. Let's start with spending habits. Because that's a really good one, I think, personally. But who wants to start this topic off?
We'll start off.
The young ones.
Yeah. What do you think is good spending habits?
Monty? Actually, since you work,
Yeah,
we'll
you
start
have
with
a
you.
job.
Yeah, let these youngsters
What's
know.
considered good spending habits?
Well, I think first of all, saving is the best thing before you spend anything. So like when I get my check, I put the over. If it's like $280, then I put $200 away, and then I have $80 to spend, and then like what I have to spend like good is like maybe if we want to go on a date, then I'll spend stuff for that, or like buying food or something like that. I feel like that's good spending habits.
Okay, so as far as your spending, you always set money aside for saving before you actually spend,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
you gotta save before you spend.
Okay, so that's your advice. Save before you spend.
Yeah, should be a motto.
You can patent that, so don't be stealing it.
Also, I think, like, say you get a paycheck or your spouse or whoever, this goes kind of like with kids as well, just in case you guys do have kids. I think you should write down exactly the amount you need for each thing. That will actually help you as well. Like, say your kid needs clothes, put at least an amount so you can get him or her a good amount of clothes, or like diapers, or just anything, especially like groceries. Like, just get for what you know that you need. Don't just spend just to spend, because that's just gonna waste money. And I don't know, that's just how I think of it. You should just write down exactly the important things, and then you can splurge, but don't do it like all the time. Just do it like, maybe every other 2 weeks, or when you know you have extra money for you guys to like go on a date and just have your time. Because it's always important to have, like fun times and like do fun things. So always make that something that you guys do as well.
You want to add?
What do you think about spending?
I like to save. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Save money. So if you get money, you save it
Yeah.
until you really need it.
But saving is like the number one thing, because say you want to go on the trip, then you have that money because you've been saving and saving and saving. It's just been building up. And then you could just buy whatever you want because you saved the money.
One thing about saving is sometimes things will come up unexpectedly, like you need to get tires for the car, or your registration's due, or I don't know, one of the kids end up having to go to the ER and there's an emergency bill. If you have a savings, you borrow from yourself and you don't go in debt to pay for something that was unexpected or something that you didn't plan ahead for. You always have your savings that you can dig into and borrow from yourself and then pay yourself back. It's so much better. So I recommend that.
Yeah, it's like what the credit cards do, but there's no interest. So, like, have a budget. Like, okay, I'm gonna save. I mean, if you're young, maybe a couple $100. If you're older, like me and my wife, then it might be a couple hundred, a few thousand. I don't know, whatever your budget is. But say that, and like my wife said, you borrow from yourself, but make sure you pay yourself back. You want to pay yourself back so that for the next time, and then just keep adding, man. I mean, $10 here, $20 here, and by the time you know it, you're like, man, I got like this so much X amount of money, and that I never knew I would have. And that's a thing that I think they should teach kids in school, which they don't really do, because a lot of kids, like me growing up, my parents never taught me. I learned from my wife. I had a budget and I just spend, and then I never had no money. Wondering why, man, how come I never had no money? I couldn't go to the movies. I couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't buy nice clothes. Why? Because I didn't have that discipline, and it's all about discipline, man. If you don't have that spending eye, that they call it the lust of the eye, then like this young lady here, Haley. That's a good habit, man. She's young and that's smart, man. Even adults need to take that. Like, save, man. Save. And really, if you think about it, you don't really need too much, man. As long as you got a roof over your head, you got food on the table. Our cars are paid off, and, I got a little tiny car that I drive, and I'm happy with it. I got a little Chevy Aveo, so I'm happy with it. It's good on gas. The repairs are decent. But, you want to have a low overhead. Like I was taught at one time, if you don't got the money, then, or if you, how's it go? If you don't have, I went blank. If you can't afford it, if you can't afford to pay cash, then you can't afford it. That's how it goes. And that's so true. So I had a little brain fart, sorry. But pay cash, man. Certain things you need credit cards and all that. That's more for the adults and younger adults. But don't get into the trap of them credit cards, because that's where it's going to get you. So I think it's very important, if you can have the discipline of saving, then do it. And those of you that are doing it now, I give you props. If you're learning this now, man, that's awesome. So that's probably a big tip as far as us talking about finances.
Also, if you're married, because we're married, but if you're married,
No, we're not.
I think that it's important when it comes to big purchases, discuss it with your spouse. Don't just go out and be like, oh, hey, I just bought a new sofa, or hey, I just went out and bought a new car. Discuss it with your spouse. You have to have a family budget. You have to have, of course, your family savings. But when it comes to a purchase, anything over $100 is how I feel. Anything over that, you should discuss with your spouse and say, hey, can we afford this? Or is this something that we just want and not need? If it's a want, then we can save for it, and eventually we'll have it and not be in debt for it. But anything over $100, keep in mind, just talk with your spouse about it and make sure, you both are on the same page, because you don't want to have to come home with it and then they're like, why did you buy that? What were you thinking? We can't afford this right now, or this wasn't a good idea, or whatever. To avoid all that, just have a rule of thumb that an amount of money that you and your spouse can both agree on, that if it's over this amount, then we need to talk about it first.
Also, I think their generation more than, mine too, but mostly theirs, do not think that you need expensive clothes to be cool. Don't think of that, because you're just wasting money. Like Gucci, that's stupid. Louis Vuitton, retarded. Like, they're just brands. Really, if you think about it, you can make Gucci. You can make Gucci your own style for like $10. Just get a basic shirt from Walmart and put Gucci on it. No one's gonna know the difference, really. If you think about it, that's how you save money. Be like, I don't know. Yeah, it's
have that shirt.
Hey, it doesn't matter the price of the clothing. If you can rock it and it looks good on you, then rock it and be proud of it, because you look good in it.
Exactly. Like, there's no point in buying expensive anything. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
And
brands don't
who you
matter.
impressing? You don't gotta impress nobody. Be yourself, man. You don't gotta go spend all this extra. Like, back in the day when I was young, I always thought I had to have Nike, and that was the big brands back then were Reebok. Champion is big now. But mainly Nike, I used to want the Nike Cortezes back in the day, the old gangster Cortezes. And man, back then they were like $30. Now they're like, what, 80? Oh my God, man. Dickies, I love Dickies. Back then, they were just workwear. That's when we used to make our own shorts before they had shorts. Like in Friday when Ice Cube was wearing them shorts, when they were shredded at the end. So I'm glad Dickies make shorts. So sponsor me, Dickies.
But really, like, if you see us like wearing Nike or like any name brand, it's clearance. Wait until it goes on clearance. Like,
There's
I
your
literally
best
got
friend.
Dwayne's and the cheaper stuff is actually at outlets. So if you guys have any of like the Nike outlets, go there instead of like the stores because it is cheaper. And like Dwayne's shirts, like you see him wearing Nike, they were literally like $2 instead of 30 to 25 and stuff like that just for one shirt. Like, think smart with like how you're spending.
Yep.
That's about it for that topic. Just think smart.
And just, you know, real quick, Goodwills, man. Goodwills are now consignment stores. They embarrassing like back in the day. But, yeah.
My
Clarence,
kids grew up on
Goodwill.
Goodwill.
And we never pay full price. Don't ever pay full price.
No.
So there's always bargains.
I stopped buying good stuff when I bought $280 shoes, and I was like, it's a bad idea. I should have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Then you end up with regret. They call it buyer's remorse. You don't want buyer's remorse.
All right, so the next topic is fighting, like fighting wise.
Like in a relationship, or
Yeah.
as a friends, or just arguments
Just in general, yeah, in general.
Like what kind of fighting? Like,
Disagreements,
Like,
arguments.
Yeah,
okay.
that type.
All right.
And physical too.
Yeah.
Well, it
yeah.
should never get physical.
Should never get to that. You know.
no fist fights in the whole world.
Yeah. I mean, you know, shouldn't get to that. I mean, if you're a family, you shouldn't be fighting at all, man. You know. I mean, especially you got to be adults about it and grown ups. Just talk, man. And if you can't talk, then I don't know.
Well, then the thing is, if you know when someone's hit that sweet spot and when you're really pissed off, you know it. You can feel it. You're like, okay, I'm getting overheated. Instead of acting a fool or saying something you later regret, go for a walk. Go somewhere and sit. Go somewhere and pray. Whatever it is that helps you to calm down, do it. Don't act a fool because you're caught in your middle of your anger. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Because a lot of times you say things you regret and then you hurt people that you don't really want to hurt because you said something stupid because you're angry. So just go somewhere, sit down somewhere, close your eyes, think of your happy place. I don't know, whatever it is that's going to help you to calm down, you need to do it before you lose your cool and act a fool.
Sometimes we argue, but then it's like a few seconds later, I'm like, why are we arguing right now? Like, there's not even a point. Like, I love you. I don't need to argue with you.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just something small, man. Like you could, like for me, I could be having a bad day at work, and then just little stuff will trigger it because I had a bad day at work, and then I take it out on my family. So I mean, I like my wife said, just try to find an outlet that you can, you know, like I liked
Calm
working
down.
out, like that was my outlet, man. Before I cut it off, but I mean, I would still work out at home, but like find something that's just gonna. Whatever it is that calms you down, you know, if you gotta hit a punching bag, you know, something that you're not gonna get in trouble, you know, don't go be beating up on people or taking out somebody because then you get locked up. But just, you know, I don't know, drawing. I like to draw, so that's another outlet for me. You know, I'll draw, do some graffiti, you know, on paper.
She likes to
And
write.
it just relaxes me, or reading a book, or you know, sometimes
If
it's chilling, listen to some music, close your eyes, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Some people keep a journal and just write till your heart's content.
Yeah.
You know, just whatever helps, do it.
I do that all the time.
And then when you're calmed down and you think clearly and you're not overwhelmed with rage, then you can sit and talk to the person that you're having a disagreement with or an argument with. You know, and that goes for that person. They should go somewhere and calm down too. You know, just both take a time out. Just to gather your thoughts and make better decisions before you just say something dumb. You know.
Marty? Say what?
I write to calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just me. Like, I just write a lot.
And that's okay. You could write 10 pages if that's what it takes to help you calm down. You know, it doesn't matter. Just whatever helps you, then do it.
I'm happy that she writes, because then she'll write to me, and I'll be like, now I know your feelings. It's like, it's better that way.
That's why I like to cook, man. You know, I kick my wife out of the kitchen, and that's just like therapy for me. You know, I like to cook. That's one of my big things I like to do.
I
Calms me
read.
down.
I read and read and read.
What do you do, Haven?
I listen to music.
Yeah,
Yep.
music. Mhm.
Matthew?
Usually I call her when I'm mad, because I don't really get mad at her that much. So whenever I'm mad, it's usually I like family. So I like to call her because she always calms me down. Because whenever I'm down, she gets me up. And whenever she's down, I try to get her up too.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how it should
That's
be.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Lift
Yeah.
each other up.
Yep.
And one thing you gotta learn is when you do argue, there's gonna be times you're gonna clash back and forth. But always keep in mind, when you fight, fight fair. You know, don't hit below the belt. Don't. It's not necessary.
It's not.
It's, you don't need to start calling out and hurting the other person, especially when you love the person. Why do it? It's dumb. It's pointless. Don't hit below the belt when you fight. And another thing is, don't bring up past mistakes when you fight. Don't do that. It just, all it does is add fuel to the fire, and it just makes a little thing become a big thing, because you're bringing up everything. What you did in 1976 pissed me off, and what you did at 4:00 p.m. on Thursday pissed me off. And
My mom does that. I'm
yeah,
like,
you can't do that. That's not fighting fair. And when you fight, you gotta fight fair. And women especially, because we have this mental notes that we keep in our head, and we remember every little detail. And you guys, after 5 minutes, have moved on, and we're still sitting there steaming, pissed off. Like, why are you smiling right now? Yeah, I know what you did 10 minutes ago, and I haven't forgotten. You know, so us as women, we tend to do that.
My
and
mom will be
it
like-
doesn't make it right.
my mom will be like, 4 years ago, Chris, you did, and I'm like, what grade was I in 4 years ago? What do you mean? Like, why are you yelling at that, Mom? Like,
Yeah, and don't do
It
that.
was on this day at 4:30, and it was raining, and
Yeah,
that's
people
how some
do
people
that.
are.
Fight fair, guys. And when you argue, don't say you. Use a lot of I statements. They teach you this, but use a lot of I statements.
Like, I
And instead of
feel-
saying, you did this, and this happened, and you did, don't do that. A lot of I statements. Like, I feel this and this and this when this and this was said by you. I do not like this and this and this. And I feel this way when you say this and this and this. A lot of I statements are very important. Then the other person doesn't feel like they have to be on the defense, because you're only stating how you feel, how you perceive it, how you took it. You're not saying, because of you, it's this. You know, that's when the person gets on the defense and they're pissed off and they're going to lash out because you're lashing out, and that's when you start hitting below the belt. So you have to think about that. It doesn't help.
There's a saying, think before you speak.
Yes.
You know, so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
Slow to anger.
Easier said than done, because when you're upset and you're on fire and you're seeing red, that you don't want to hear. You just want to say, oh, I got to say what I feel. Oh, this is how she made me feel. You know, but we got to just take a chill, take a time out, take a walk, do something. But think before you speak, because you don't want those words to come out and hurt the ones you love.
Us as women, when we see the guy turning around and walking away, we're like, hey, where are you going? I'm not done yet. I got to finish what I was saying. We can't do that. Let them go. Let them chill. Let them calm. Because I've been known to do it. I've been guilty. I'm sure we all have at some point.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
But we gotta let them go. And that goes for men. If you see the woman walking away, let her go. Let her calm. And then you can meet up later when you're both calm.
I'll be like, I need a break. She'll be like, no, you don't. And I'm like, what? What? What?
He's like, how do you know what I need?
Anything else? No? No? Pretty much it?
Well, guys, that is the end of this series, which was relationships, basically talking about all of that. So thank you again so much for watching DNS Squad, and also don't forget to subscribe, like I always say, and like it up and share it, and again, hit that bell so you are notified for when I am posting a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, DNS
Bye.
Squad!